Hey everybody, welcome to the Timmy and Sachi podcast.
Hello. こんにちは。
こんにちは。おはようございます。
こんばんは。
Not sure what time it is where you are, but thank you for listening.
Thank you. ありがとうございます。
So, well, go ahead.
No, we wanna say thank you.
Oh, yeah. So somebody commented and gave us a really nice rating.
Yes.
Based upon your account name, we think we know who it is. So thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
We appreciate kind comments and good ratings.
Yes.
It's going to help us.
Yeah. When we see you, we want to say thank you in person.
Yes. It's very motivating too to get kind comments.
Yeah.
So
Thank you very much.
We're happy people are listening.
So, 嬉しいコメントお待ちしてます。
Yeah. So we were having a conversation earlier, and I turned to Sachi and I asked her, like, hey, do you think I'm sexy? And, well, go ahead. What did you say?
So, Tim asked me, ティモさんがね、僕はセクシーかってね、聞いてきたんでね、スターバックスのドライブスルーを待ってる時にね、なんで突然そんな聞いてきたんだろうね。
Wow, because I looked over at you and I was like, oh, wow, my wife's super sexy. She's so beautiful.
そう、それで、僕はセクシーかいって聞いてきてね、それでうちはなんて答えたかっていうと、まあセクシーって考えたことないな。
ドカン。That hurts a lot.
Sorry, but だけどね、なんか多分わかんない。日本人の代表していいのかわかんないけど、なんていうかこうセクシー、まずね、T ちゃんがうちのことをセクシーって言うのも
A lot, yeah.
でもなんか慣れないし、なんかこれ友達聞いてたら爆笑すると思う。さっちゃんがセクシーとか誰も思ってないし、誰もね。
No, but I think a lot of people in the US are probably like, oh, check out that fine Asian girl.
I don't know about that, but だけどサチがセクシープって感じで本当にだからね、なんかわかんない。それはうちだけかもしれないけど、育ってきた環境とか周りの友達とかも考えると、なんか誰かをすごいセクシーだなって思ったことはないな、日本でいた時。でも
Well, so I wanted to ask, do you think any of your friends find their husbands sexy? Because obviously they're making babies, so.
いや、だから今うちの友達のうちの友達の旦那さんが、違うな、
Well, you don't have to talk about them exactly, right? You don't have to, but do you think they think their husbands are sexy?
いや、どうなんだ、いや、セクシー、友達が友達の旦那さんをセクシーだと思ったことが多分ないと思うんだけどね。だからそういうセクシーだと思ったことある人いんのかな？
There has to be. There has to be.
まあ、そうなんだけど、いや、わかんない。
I think we need to start calling your friends and asking them.
そうだね。そうかもしれない。そうだね。まあ、セクシーってうち自体なんかでもアメリカに来て、なんか女の人とかではこの人本当セクシーだなって思う人はいるけど、なんかセクシーというカテゴリーが今まで。
Well, so if they're not finding them sexy, like, what do you think what do they lean towards? Like, what is the attraction?
To their husband?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Like, if it's not like, oh, you're like, if you're not sexy, then what are you? Are you? Like, oh, yeah, he's so Jimmy.
地味なんかいやそういうのも思わないと思うけど、まあなんか優しいとか、まあ可愛いとか思うんじゃない？
So cute.
Cute.
Okay.
なんか日本のカルチャー結構可愛いカルチャーじゃん。You know that, right?
Yeah, but even the men?
Yes. But まあでも男らしい人もモテるからね。なんかメンリーな人。
Yeah. Well, I noticed that when we were, this was even like 3 or 4 years ago when we were living in Japan, but there was a lot of men wearing makeup, and I mean, not that that's an issue, whatever, but I'm just saying, like, there was a lot of like more feminine type of behavior in men than in the US, where like I I don't put on lotion. I don't
そうそ
take
う
care of my
あれ
skin. I don't do any of
ネッ
that.
トフリックスで相乗り見てた時結構
Oh yeah,
衝撃
yeah,
的だ
yeah,
ったうちも
yeah, yeah.
若い男の子がね
Yep.
化粧水持ってるしなんか何美容系のハサミとかビューラーとか
Yeah.
持っててね
Yeah, they're like
あの
trimming their
す
eyebrows
そう
and
そうそう
yeah,
そうそうそう
using not face mask, but like face treatment type stuff.
うん
Yeah, like skin
そうそう
rejuvenation.
そうそうそれに時間かかって
Yeah,
支度が遅れるとかあってね
yeah,
だからそれは結構びっくりしたけどでもそれでその時日本に帰って美容院行った時に美容師さんが若い男の子だったら聞いたら寄りますよって
yeah.
言ってたね、
Mhm.
まあ、美容師だからっていうのもあるかもしれないけどでもねすごいね
It's becoming more and more, I think, of a cultural thing there too. Like more and more, the younger people, like especially men, are
うんまあ
turning towards, you know.
そうだね多分なんかそういうの女の子が求めてるのかもしれないなんか肌が綺麗な方がいいとか
Yeah,
見た目が
definitely.
整
Yeah.
ってる方がいいとか、
Mhm.
うんだから気にしてるわけだもんね
So, in your opinion, what is the desire for that?
なんか for men
Yeah, like why do women want that? Why are they?
あ
Yeah, like what is this turn? Because I would say that in the United States, there is similar things happening, like women wanting more polished men,
うん
you know, cleaner skin, cleaner looking.
そうなの?
But there is also a movement on the other side of it, like men that are more manly, more muscle, bigger, you know, tougher. I wouldn't say hairier. I think
hairier
yeah, I
Like more
I
hair?
wouldn't say more hair. That's kind of like the opposite of that. Like I think most people in our generation are like they're shaving everything.
うーん
Like even down there, they're shaving.
for men?
Yeah, yeah. They're shaving their pubic hair.
あ OK
Yeah.
あそうなんだまあなんでだろうね見た目が綺麗な方がいいってことだよね
Yeah, well, hair is, especially in the United States, I don't know. Hair is kind of looked at like body hair is kind of looked at like a nasty thing.
うんでも結構もじゃもじゃの人いっぱいいるよね
Oh yeah, there is.
Mm.
It's more of like a younger generation thing,
あ
from what I
だから日
understand.
本と一緒だよね
Yeah.
うん
But regardless of the hair thing, there's still like a movement towards like, you know, men having more muscle and being tougher and
うん
yeah.
なんかない方がそうなんだよね別にまああってもなくてもいいんだけどまあありすぎんのはちょっと嫌だけどね
Yeah.
もじゃもじゃもじ
I think, well, as long as you don't have it on your back.
ゃ背中毛
Yeah.
多分もう大量にね
Yeah.
もじゃもじゃにね
If I start getting back hair, I'm going to have you shave it for me.
It's gonna happen?
Maybe. I think as you get older, you get hairier, right?
うん、
I mean, I am.
Really?
Yeah.
On the back?
Yeah, well, like just when you met me, I couldn't even grow a beard. Well, it's not even really a beard, if you want to, my pepper or whatever you want to call it. But it, you know, I could barely even grow any facial hair when you first met me, and now
そうなの
it's still starting to come in fuller, even though I'm in my 30s. So
But what about here?
yeah, I'm gonna go bald. I keep telling you that.
No.
You just need to accept it.
No, you just you just need to take care of it.
There is no cure for baldness.
No,
No.
あるんだよ Actually there is なんかメディスンがある
It doesn't work though, really.
No, maybe, but we'll see. It's okay. If it's
I don't think it works.
It's okay.
Anyways,
Yeah.
I'm going bald. You have to accept it.
Right.
Eventually, I'll just start shaving my head or wear a hat.
All the time. Okay. It's
So
okay.
it's okay. Yeah, we just got to take wedding pictures before I go bald.
Yes, please. Yes. そうだね
So yeah, back to what we were talking about.
Yeah.
So what do you think is the driving factor towards younger women wanting like more polished men or more like kind of men that are taking skincare more seriously? What do you think it is?
なんでだろうね
I have one guess.
何
I think it's like the move towards social media
あ
and taking
あ
pictures.
そうだね
And-
確かに
Yeah, and so like everybody when they're taking these pictures and putting, and especially the Pirikura?
あ、プリクラ
Yeah. They all, no matter what you do, all of them have like a filter.
うん、そうそうそうそう。
And this has been going on, like, okay, Instagram filters, like, this is like a more recent development, right? Like over the past 5 or 6, 7, maybe even 10 years.
うん、
How long have the filters been on those picture machines in Japan?
まあ、ロングタイムアゴーだね。
Like 30 years?
No.
20 years? 25? Maybe
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 twen-
in the mid 90s. There's pictures,
うん、
like some old pictures that you have with your friends in high school, and they have filters
そう
on
そう
them.
そう、今、
Yeah.
それ思った。そうだね。プリクラの加工機能、そうだね。
That's at least 16, 17 years ago.
20年前、20年ぐらいかな。
I think so, yeah.
そうだね。
So this has been going on for like 20 years in Japan, where you're getting these like pictures turned back with your skin polished,
うん、
your
本当
eyes
確かに。
enlarged.
だって美肌みたいな名前のプリクラあったもん。確かに肌がめちゃくちゃ綺麗に撮れるやつだ。
Yeah.
うん、
So
革命的だったな、プリクラは。
yeah, so maybe that's putting expectations
うん、
on men, like, hey, you have to look like this now.
うん、
And in
That's
order to attract
The girl?
the girl, you need to look like, you know,
ああ、そうか。
in the
まあ、
pictures. So.
確かに。
But
ソーシャルメディアは確かにね。
yeah, I just want to say, and then you should probably explain this in Japanese.
If I can.
Yeah, if you can. This type of thing, and especially in Instagram, it's putting unrealistic expectations on young men and women.
なんだっけ、
Unrealistic expectations.
非現実的な期待ね。
Yeah, you cannot expect to look like this in reality.
うん、
So you take these pictures in Instagram and you look absolutely fabulous because the filter makes your face smaller, right? This is what you want in Japan. Japan, they want their face like smaller, their eyes bigger, and their skin to look like porcelain, basically.
like
and
a doll.
Yeah, so you look like like an anime character, basically, and well, I mean, that's the obsession with large eyes in anime. Anyways,
うん、
regardless of that,
うん、
it's putting these expectations that you're never going to achieve that in real life. So like when you go, right, like after you look at yourself in these pictures on Instagram and you're like, oh, and then you go look at yourself in the mirror, you're like, what is this shit? Why can't I look like this in real life?
うん、まあね。
You know,
まあ
and
確かに。
to me, I think it's like it's mentally, it's a mentally damaging thing. I think so. You
But-
laugh, but
No, I think they don't think that way. Maybe.
no, I think they do. And I think
でも、
that's the obsession with, like skincare and looking younger.
ああ、そっか。だからみんなそこに力を入れてるってことね。
Yeah,
うん、
yeah, right.
Ma-
Because
ma-
like before, never before in society did you have to take so many pictures of yourself
うん、
to show off to people,
うん、
right? Like now, like you're taking like a picture almost every day and putting it online for everybody to see.
うん、
Instead, in the past, before we had social media, you would just go see people in person,
うん、
right? And you didn't have this constant reminder of like, oh, hey, you're not a beautiful person. Oh, hey, you're not this perfect face. Oh, hey, like your eyes aren't big enough. Your face isn't small enough, blah, 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 blah.
うん、
And now now that we're seeing pictures of ourselves every day that we can't obtain, I think that's not good.
うん。なるほどね。
Yeah. What do you think?
まあ確かにこうソーシャルメディアはね、そういう影響大きいかもね。
Yeah.
うん。かっこよく可愛く見せたいという
Yeah.
思いがね。
I think it's important as a human being to take a step back from social media.
うん、まあそうね。
Like today, I spent 4 hours on Facebook.
Yeah, that was
Back in like it was just an interesting conversation, right? That I
Mm.
was having about
Mm.
like some current laws and the way that they're not being enforced, whatever. But
うん、
regardless of that, I was just having a conversation back and forth with somebody, and it went on for like 4 hours.
うん、
And at the end, it accomplished nothing. Like I didn't change my mind. They didn't change their mind.
うん、
Like I think mostly we agreed on everything, but for whatever reason, like some of the factors or whatever, that just we couldn't come to a complete agreement.
うん、 それ楽しかった？
Yeah, I mean, I find it interesting. It's kind of fun, right? Because like you challenge yourself a little bit intellectually, right? Like, oh, do I know about this? Do I not? But I think ultimately it was a waste of time.
See?
Well, yeah, no, I never disagreed with you, right? Like, I don't think it's a complete waste of time because it was fun.
Okay. そうだね。
But if my end goal was to change somebody's mind, it was a waste of time in that regard. Right, like you just on social media, you're never gonna change people's minds. I think their opinion is already made up before they go on it. They go and find the opinion that they agree with online, and that's it.
まあそうだね。誰かのそうね、基本的にできないよね。
Yeah, like you could provide profound evidence, very strong evidence, very strong numbers to certain ideas. People are still not gonna believe it. Right, like we were talking about this with the masks last time.
そうそうだ。昨日ね、マギーの散歩に行った時に
Maggie is our dog.
マギー、そう。それで、その時にうちはマスクをしてたんだけど、まあしてたっていうかちょっとここにつけてて、もし誰か来たらちゃんとつけようと思ってたのね。
Yeah.
そしたら向こう側からおじさんがおじさんが犬と一緒にやってきて、なんか突然マスクは意味ないんだよみたいな、マスクしても意味ないんだよってなんか CDC ってなんていう？
The Center for Disease Control.
なんかなんていうの、そのコロナウイルスじゃない、コロナウイルスのなんていうんだろうね、ああいうの一言葉できないな。
What?
CDC
Center for Disease Control?
日本語でなん
It's
て
like a public health agency.
まあとりあえずなんかいろいろ指令を出してくる、コロナウイルスについていろいろ指令を出してくるところからもうマスクはしなくていいって言ったんだよ CDC がみたいな、マスクは意味ないんだってっつっておじさんが突然うちに言い出したんだよね。
Yeah. Okay. So if you're listening for the English, what Sachi was explaining is that she went on a walk with the dog, and some old man stopped her. Well, didn't stop her, but some old man saw her wearing a mask and said, "Oh, you don't have to wear a mask. They don't do anything. Even the CDC said so." Okay. Right now, I'm on the CDC website. July 14th, and it says CDC calls on Americans to wear masks to prevent COVID-19 spread. So,
そうなんだよ。だから
how did we get to this point, right? Like we explained this last time in the podcast how Fauci lied. Yeah, and it caused people to believe that you don't need to wear masks. And so now there's this confusion, and then somebody even approached you and told you not to wear masks.
そうなの。でもうちはそれは嘘だろうと思ったから。
Well, yeah, of course it's a lie. But I you know what? Does he wholeheartedly believe that? Does he believe that? I don't know. That's the hard part.
Does he believe what?
That masks are really effective or not.
He doesn't believe?
I don't know. 本当に信じているマスクがしなくていいって。
信じてると思うよ。だから言ったんじゃない？うちに。何もだからそれでうちがじゃあどうやって守るのって聞いてウイルスから、なんかもうコロナウイルスにかかるしかないんだよっつって言うじゃん。
That's not a good answer.
そうでしょ？
Just get the virus.
Yeah, just to get the virus.
I don't know about that.
だからねちょっとそれはびっくりしたんだけど、まあだから本当にまあそういう人いるんですよ。
Yeah.
あれなんでコロナウイルスの話になっちゃったまた。
Yeah.
The husband がセクシーかセクシーじゃないかの話だった。
Yeah. Well, we were talking about unrealistic expectations. So yeah, I am on the idea that social media is causing this.
そうか。
And certain apps.
そうかそうか。でもそんなこと言ってティーちゃんいっぱいやってんじゃん。そのさっき言って4時間も。
No. But that's not in regards to like posting my face.
まあそうだね。確かに。
I mean, yeah, I put pictures on, but I don't doctor myself at all.
でこの間の面白かったね。
Yeah, I actually just I put a video on Instagram of me jumping up and landing on my feet as hard as I could to make my face stretch down.
そうそれは面白かった。
Yeah.
まあそうね。まあやりたい人はやればいいしってことだよね。
Yeah.
まあ all depends on you じゃないか。
Yeah.
you want to post on you, it's fine.
Yeah, but I think that I don't see. I don't know if it's fine. That's my argument, right? Like I don't think it's a problem to like take care of your skin or whatever. Like I don't have any issues with that. Whatever, like however you feel, if it's feminine or not, that's not my problem. I just see it as that's the change. That's what's changing people, right?
そうだね、それはあるだね。
What I don't like is the unrealistic expectations, right? Like we need to do away with the filters. We need to do away with the like Photoshop editing models. It's not good. You can't look in the mirror and not see what you see on Instagram and then you're upset, right? I think that's what the problem is.
そうだね、それはあるかもね。
It's just, so it's always been an issue when you look at magazines, right? And what I'm really fearful is like young girls, right? Young girls are going to get the idea that like this is what I need to look like, and they can't achieve it. So what do?
Plastic surgery?
I mean, I'm not saying that that's what leads to plastic surgery. I'm just saying like if I have a daughter, I don't want her to have to think about that kind of stuff.
そうだね。それはそうだね。
You know, like I of course you should take care of your skin. Like you only get one shot at that. You know what I mean? Like you should want to kind of look as good as you can. That's natural. But when we're talking about like unrealistic expectations, like I don't want like if I have a daughter for her to have to go through that kind of mental anguish.
確かに。
It's already been bad enough with normal advertising and normal television.
そうね。
Yeah.
確かに。
Yeah. So, would you like to know if you have coronavirus or not?
来た。
Yeah, our test came in.
Just now?
They came in a few minutes ago, but I didn't want to tell you until we started the podcast.
いや、ネガティブじゃないとこれ放送できないんだけど。
So,
でも、I'm sure I'm negative.
you're sure you're negative? Okay.
おー、生です。生放送。
Yeah. I saw the email and I didn't log in yet because I wanted it to be a surprise. So I'm going to do mine first because I know the password to this one right now.
Okay.
Uh-oh, something went wrong. Hold on. Let me try it again. Sorry, guys. You'll have to hold on just a minute.
うちらがテストを受けたのは、今日が今ここはね日曜日だから先週の月曜日。先週の月曜日。
So how many days has it been now?
6 days here? でも1週間ぐらいだね。1週間。ちょうど1週間ね。
What do you think?
いや、ネガティブだよ。
For me?
No.
Negative. Yeah, of course I'm negative. I have had no symptoms and it's been over 14 days
そうだよ。
since Sachi had her contact. Now let's go in and view Sachi's.
ネガティブ。ティーチャーのお父さんに連絡しないとね。
Yeah, we should probably. I'll call him right now.
No, right now.
Why not? We'll call him on the podcast.
No.
He doesn't mind.
いや、でも、it's okay. Let's do it later.
Sachi is also negative.
よかった。
Yay!
よかった。
So we're both negative for coronavirus.
よかったです。
I can't express how much of a stressful feeling it is waiting for the test results.
そうなんだよね。この間ちょっと言うの忘れちゃったけど、そのお父さんが引っ越したところに行って帰ってきた日にうちのボスから電話があったんだよね。
Yeah.
それは結構もうOh my god ってなったよね。
Yeah, I was so mad because we had just saw my dad.
そうなの。だからもうと思ったけど、でももうそこでその帰ってきた日でちょうど1週間経ってたんだよね。もう最後のコンタクトした時だからまあ大丈夫だと思ってたけど、まあでもよかった。
Hey, Dad. Hey, we're just so you know, we're recording a podcast right now, so you're live.
Oh, okay.
We just got our COVID-19 test results in.
Okay.
We're both negative.
I figured, yeah.
Yeah.
That's good.
Yep. So I just wanted to call and let you know that.
That's good news.
I'll call you back after we're done.
Okay, cool.
All right. Love you.
All right, love you too.
Bye.
Bye.
So I wanted to let him know the day I called my dad with the test results, he's like, "Oh, my throat hurts."
そうだね
Like half an hour after we got off the phone, he says, "Oh, my throat hurts." And he knew he was just because like he's imagining symptoms.
う
But
ん、うん、そうだねそうそうまあでもよかったとりあえず、
yeah, I was really happy that
うん
we didn't have any symptoms and that we came out negative.
うん、
So it's
よか
really
った
good.
よかった
Okay.
Right.
So, we also wanted to talk about Sachi's been watching a television show,
面白い
and this is making me really frustrated.
No 言わせてくださいこれ見たことありますか皆さん This is Us っていうここだとアメリカだとフルで見れるんだけど、
Yeah, I don't know where you can watch it in
うん
Japan.
でもね
Look it up.
I told you before インターネットで調べたときに多分2017年に日本の NHK で放送されてたんだって。
Yeah, but is it all on like all the seasons? Because there's like 4 seasons
う
now.
ん、そうなんだよね。でも、わかんないけど。
Season 3 is in Netflix in Japan.
ああ、そうなんだ。もう
Netflix.
OK、ネットフリックス。あ、シーズン3まで
Yeah.
今、こっちだとシーズン4まであるんだけど、でもね、これね、めちゃくちゃ、もう涙なしで毎回泣いてる。ほぼ毎回泣いてる。
I come home from work and Sachi's sitting on the couch crying.
もうね、本当に感動。でもこれを見るのは35歳を過ぎてからがいいと思う。
Yeah.
うん、そういう設定だから主人公が、
it's
そう
that generation.
そうそう、
Yeah.
36歳から始まるんだけど36歳の誕生日から始まるんだけど
Yeah, I would say if you're in your 30s, you can relate more to the show.
そうだねそうだから、まあ若いうちに見るのはねちょっとあれかもしれないけどもすごいいいよまだ終わってないんだけど今ちょうどうちはシーズン3の最中でね
Okay.
うんで何かコンプレインがありますか
Okay, so I guess the key phrase of today's podcast is unrealistic expectations.
非現実的な期待や
So the main character, he's not like the main character, but one of the main characters is Jack, and he's the father that passed away. And he is the perfect man
そうなの
in every way.
うんそうなんです
And recently, Sachi's been looking at me like, hey, why aren't you Jack?
No そんなこと言ってないよ
I see the look in your eyes.
No
You're like disappointed that you're not married to Jack.
No そんなことないよでもねこうジャックはね本当にねsweetest
Yeah.
sweetest husband you ever see
It's a television show.
I know
Yeah.
I know
You can't.
I know
So this is what I don't like about TV. I don't know, every television show I watch actually has some sort of trope of a character that is unrealistic, right?
Yeah because TV show
Yeah. And we watch a lot of anime, and
アニメの話はまた
no, we won't talk. But anyways, in anime, there's a lot of unrealistic expectations, especially from the female characters.
そうだねいやいや
That's like a huge theme of anime.
うんそうだね
Anyways, I don't like this unrealistic expectation because I look at the character Jack and it makes me feel bad. I feel like a piece of shit
No
because I'm like, why aren't I that good?
でもね本当にねジャックはね too good I think
Yeah,
You know,
it is. The character is unbelievable. I don't think anybody in the world could ever be that good.
Well I don't know about that but
I mean, there's a couple moments in the show where like he's not nice and he's blown up like once or twice, but like 99.9% of the time he's like the perfect husband and father.
そうだね
Yeah. And I think it's good to strive to be like the best that you can be as far as a husband and a father. But that level makes me feel like there's like you're not allowed to make any sort of mistake. The pressure that Jack puts on men is unbelievable as a character.
そうですかまあでもやっぱ TV ショーだからでも
Yeah, and his body is perfect.
Oh yeah
Yeah, and he's handsome and he can grow a great mustache. I can't grow a great mustache yet.
It's okay
I'm still missing the middle of my mustache right here.
本当だ
Yeah,
入ってこないのそこ
I guess I shouldn't have pointed it out to you.
まあ It's okay
Yeah.
It's okay
So I'm going bald. I can't grow a mustache or a beard.
It's okay.
Do you still love me?
Yes, yes.
Okay, thank you.
そのね、This is Us もしチャンスがあったら涙なしでは見れませんか？
Yeah, it's a really good show.
they すごい面白い展開がね。
I mean, we can give a synopsis of it without giving away any spoilers.
Really?
Yeah, we don't have to give away any spoilers. The storyline goes, there is a family. They are going to have triplets.
そう本当にビギニングの話だけど。
They're going to have triplets. During birth, one of the babies dies. Triplets means 3 babies for our Japanese listeners. Triplets means 3.
三つ子。
Yeah, 三つ子. One of them dies during birth. The day that that happens, a child was left at a fire station, which the fireman brings to the hospital. Jack, the father, sees the baby and decides to adopt him. He's an African American baby, and they're all white family, and so that kind of adds like a really interesting dynamic to everything.
そうだね。その三つ子が育っていく過程と大人になってからの話がこう行ったり来たりするんだけどね。それがね本当にね面白いんだよね。次から次へと問題が出てきてね、それが面白いです。今一番おすすめ、アニメ以外で。
Is there anything else you're watching recently?
アメリカのショーで？
Yeah. So, why don't you explain the difference between American dramas and Japanese dramas?
何が違うかって、アメリカのドラマめちゃくちゃ長い。多分何年もかけて撮影してんのかなっていうのもあるよね。
Yeah, well, like Friends, how many years did that run?
I don't know.
I think 17 years or something like that.
長い、17年。
17年間。
そう、アメリカのドラマはさ、シーズン1じゃ終わらない。日本はシーズン1とかいうくくりがないからね。ないね。ごめんね。コロナのネガティブだったから。
Well, we just went to Lowe's, and I feel like I got corona at Lowe's.
No, だから、it doesn't work like that.
Well, as soon as I left Lowe's, my throat hurt.
もうやめよ、コロナそういう風に言っちゃいけないん
I'm
だよ。
just kidding. That's a bad joke. Sorry.
そうやめて。そうとりあえず日本のドラマはだいたい12話ぐらいで終わるけど、アメリカはその12話どころじゃ終わらないと。
Yeah.
続いて。あともう一個おすすめある。ホームランド。
ホームランド。Homeland is really good. Yeah.
ちょっと怖くなるけどね、アメリカ。
It's suspenseful. Very suspenseful.
なんかでもすごいおすすめだね。ホームランドおすすめ。
I think when we binged it, we started binging it in Japan.
Binging って何？
Binging means like watching like all the episodes all at once.
そうだね。
Yeah. And I felt like we were going through PTSD.
何それ
？It's post-traumatic stress disorder.
なんか確かにすごいストレスフルな。
How do you say that in Japanese?
I don't know.
How do you say PTSD in Japanese?
パニック障害？
In Japanese, PTSD is post-traumatic stress disorder.
Oh, you gotta love the crappy translations. That's English.
そうだよ、イングリッシュを日本語で言っただけだね。Can I see?
What?
Can I see?
My phone?
Yeah. Still there?
No, it just says it in English. Yeah, it didn't give any sort of translation.
なんかそのストレスになっちゃうって感じでしょだから。
Yeah.
そう確かにちょっと怖い。でもホームランドもおすすめだね。
Yeah, it was
なんか結構テロ系の話だね。
Yeah. And you can find the DVDs at the rental shops for sure.
For sure. でもI don't know all of it or not.
I think that they're still currently translating seasons. They're currently in their last season of the show right now, which is the 9th season, I believe. It's either the 8th or 9th season now. Yeah. We watched
6ぐらいじゃない？
No, I think it's like 8 or 9 seasons now.
We are not sure.
We watched at least 6 seasons in Japan.
No. 2 だよ。
No, more
or
than
3.
I'm pretty sure.
No,
it was like
we
6.
didn't have that much.
But each season was like 2 DVDs. And we had like 12 DVDs. Anyways, I think there's about 9. Either way, it's a lot of show to watch. Each show is an hour long. So, yeah, which with commercials taken out, it's like 48 minutes or something like that.
でもね、面白い。
Yeah, it's very good.
アメリカのドラマそうだね。あと
It's about like terrorists and Homeland Security, for the Japanese listeners, is it's like a government agency in the United States that was created after 9/11 that is tasked with protecting the United States from terrorist attacks. And it's about the story of how they do that, and some of it's based on true events and some of it's like pretty made up.
でもちょっとこうスリルがあるね、だいぶね。あとはあとね、ネットフリックスで、日本のネットフリックスにもあるか分かんないけど、うちが結構好きなAtypical。
Oh, Atypical's very good. Yeah.
自閉症の男の子の話なんだけど、その家族を巻き込んで、そうね、なんていうんだ、コミカルに。
Yeah, it's like a situation comedy. It's very funny.
すごく面白いし見やすい。
Yeah.
と思います。
Sachi just slapped herself in the face.
なんか噛んでた。そう。Atypical 面白いね。
Yeah, that's a really good one. That was funny.
多分まだまだ作ってると思うんでね。終わってない。
What was the name of the show where the girl is like it's like she's in like middle school or whatever, but the actor is actually like 20 something years old.
Pen 15?
Pen 15. I liked that one a lot. That was really funny. あれでしょ、日本人の女の子でしょ。Yeah, she's like a Japanese American.
No, she's Yeah,
Japanese American.
そうだね。アメリカで生まれた日本人。
Yeah.
そうそう、それ面白いね。
Which, okay. So, we always get into this.
そうなんだよ。
She is American. She's not Japanese.
No, I say no.
Her ethnicity, right, is Japanese.
Yeah.
Her nationality is American because she's born in the USA.
そうなんだよね。
So this is very confusing, I think, this gets confusing for people that don't live in the United States. Typically, I mean, I don't know, I could be wrong. This is just the way I think, but if you're you're raised from a young age in the United States, you identify as American, you're American. You don't have to be anything else. You can have a heritage from your own country if you want to, that's fine. Right? Like you can be in touch with your roots, that's cool. Like nobody has an issue with that. But I think it's not good as somebody who is not a part of that group to say like, oh, you're Japanese, but you were born in America.
そうだね。
Like it's kind of like we don't really think like that in the United States. Like to me, like we had a friend when we lived in Japan. Her name was Anne. She came from like Vietnam when she was very young. And like we were trying to explain this to Sachi when we were all kind of first met to hang out. I said, because I asked her, I was like, well, how old were you when you moved to the United States? Oh, I was like 7. I was like, oh, so you're American. And then she actually stopped me and she said, oh, hey, thank you for saying that.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because like to me it's if you spent the majority of your life in one place, you can be that person.
Yeah. She has American citizen.
Yeah, but that's not the point. The citizenship, where you're born, is not the point. Okay. It's, because you spent a lot of time there. But the inverse is not true if you're like somebody who was born somewhere else or looks differently than Japanese and you live in Japan. You will never be Japanese in the eyes of most Japanese people. Yeah, 99% of Japanese people are not gonna see you as Japanese.
If you look like Japanese.
Yeah, you could be half, and if you look Caucasian enough, you're not a Nihonjin. You're not Japanese.
Well,
I don't mean to criticize. This is just the way it is, right? That's just the way. It's just the way that's the way you're seen in that country.
しょうがないんだよね。なぜなら
I mean,
日本人しかいないからって思ってるからか。
No, I know, but you shouldn't say しょうがない。
まあそうだね。
Yeah.
そうだ。これじゃ 変わらないじゃないか未来がね。
Yeah, I hope it would change.
そう
Right?
だね。
Because I think if you've dedicated yourself to loving, the place that you live, that
そうだね。
you should be considered part of that community, no matter
で
where
ね
you're at.
自分自身が決めればいいことだよね。他人じゃなくてね。
But that's what I was trying to say earlier, is that's the most important. It's how you feel about where you live. Nobody else should define, oh, you're American or not. That should be up to you.
でも一つ言わせて、もしその人がアジア人の顔だったらどこのアジア出身だか知りたいのよ。
Yeah,
アジア人だから。
because you're from somewhere
そう
else. Yeah.
そうそうそうそう。
But most of the time they're just from the United
あ
States.
そうなんだ
Yeah.
よ。だからね、I cannot ask.
Yeah. You shouldn't. I mean, you shouldn't.
Yeah.
Like, well, especially me.
Yeah.
It just comes off as like so shitty.
そうか。
Like if like a Caucasian guy coming up and asking like, "Hey, where are you from?" Where are you from? Oh,
確かに。
what part of the world did you come from?
確かにね、特にほらうちはほら日本から来た日本人ですから。
Yeah.
アジア人を見て、もしその人にアクセントがあったら英語のね、
Yeah.
もう聞きたくなっちゃう。
Yeah. Well, and I think more for you, you're looking for a connection,
まあそうそうそうそう。
like a shared connection,
So.
somebody else who's like came to this country later in life, and
そうそうそうそう。
yeah, because it's somebody that you can befriend very easily because they have a shared experience.
そう、exactly.
Yeah.
そうです。
And that's, I mean, typically, like when I lived in Japan, that's why a lot of Americans tend to like hang out with each other in Japan. We have a shared experience, right?
まあ
Like
そうだね。
you don't realize how should I say it? How really American you are until you move to a foreign country.
あー
Right,
でも
like-
まあ
Like the things that you think like make a Californian or like a Texan different, or like somebody from Idaho. That shit don't matter when you're in Japan.
まあそうだね。
You're all American, right? Because things are so goddamn different
そうだね。
that you're like, oh yeah, I'm American, you're American. You know what I mean? Like, well, typically, like if you look Caucasian in Japan, everybody thinks you're American. It doesn't matter where you're from.
そうか。
That's, I think, the general assumption is that you're from the USA. Like a lot of Europeans that I talk to in Japan get mistaken for being American all the time.
ああ、そうな
I
んだ。
met two French teachers at the school that I worked at, and they all the time
あで
got mistaken for being like American.
ああ、そうか。
Yeah.
フランス人
Yeah, from France, born and raised in France. Yeah.
それフランス人したらすごい嫌だったろうね。
I mean, I don't know.
なんかイメージ。
That might be like an old stereotype.
ああ、そうか。ヨー
And
ロッパ。
honestly, yeah. I don't know. We all got along really well.
うん
You know.
よかった。
Yeah. I mean, they're really cool guys, and we're friendly. We're all cooking together. That's why.
ああ、
Yeah,
OK
at the school we were doing like kind of like a cooking party, cooking English lesson party.
ああ、OK。
Fun guys. What were we talking about before?
おすすめの海外ドラマ。
Oh, okay.
そんな話だったか。
Yeah.
まあそんな話した。今、This is Us がちょうど見てるのと、ホームランドと Atypical 言ってる。
And Pen 15.
あ、ペン15だ。
Yeah. So those are four
面白い。
suggestions.
うん。
So we were talking about this the other day. I saw a news story that came up, and it said Elon Musk wants to get rid of headphones and replace it with a brain chip for streaming music.
ああ、話したね、それね。
Yeah. And
know.
so I wanted to ask you, what would you put a microchip in your brain?
And then I say no. Right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
For music.
うん。
So I would probably do it.
なんで？
I think it's interesting.
あ、ちょっと待って、なんだっけ、音楽、マイクロチップを頭に入れて音楽を聴けるようにするかみたいな話だね。
Yeah.
うん。やりたいかやりたくないかみたい
Yeah.
な。うん。
So I would do it.
うん。
I'm not so afraid of the science.
うん。
I mean, we already do some pretty nasty stuff to ourselves anyways. So why not that? I don't know.
でもまあ成功例があればね。
So you want it to be successful first.
そうでしょうね。だってもしかしたら It might damage your brain、なんかさ、
So I don't think that the chip goes into your like the actual chip portion. I don't think that goes into your skull. I think what the thing is, the chip's going to go into your skin, and then they'll have tiny probes that go into your brain.
なんかさ、これまたちょっとテレビの話になるけどさ、ほらフィード見てじゃん。
Oh yeah.
そう、フィードっていうフルにあったそれもドラマ。
Yeah, there's a story about that. Yeah.
なんかそれはなんかチップが人間にもう全員じゃないかもしれないけど、まあ全員かほぼ全員に、埋め込まれてて、なんか目を通してなんか全部見れんだよね。電話もできるし、今誰がどこにいるかとかもそれで分かったりとか。
Yeah.
でもなんかやっぱりおかしい人が出てきちゃうんだよね。そのフィードを使いすぎて、フィードなんてその常にオンタイム、
Yeah.
オフラインじゃなくてオンラインになってて、目がなんかボーってなって目がいっちゃっておかしくなっちゃう、ずっとバラバラって。
Yeah. Well, this is the television version.
まあそうなんだよね。そうなんだけ
ど。It does raise interesting questions. What if you get this chip and somebody can hack your brain? Because this is what the feed, the television show is about. They're hacking the chips, reprogramming, I believe, people that were like in AI. They were like AI made personalities, and they were deleting human personalities and putting their brain inside another person's.
No.
Yeah, they were like,
でも
so the dad like had wrote these artificial intelligent programs that were people, like became pseudo people, and then the AI programs became aware and were loading themselves into humans and basically deleting the human. I don't think it could ever get that advanced.
まあそうだね。誰か一人がね、そうやってね。
Yeah. Just knowing how nerves and brains work, I don't think it would ever be possible to make enough connections to the brain in order to rewrite memories, right? I just don't think that's ever going to be possible. You're talking trillions of nerves in the brain. Like it's feasibly impossible. Is it possible to hack somebody's chip and sensory overload them? Like cause them physical harm or mental harm?
If you have a chip in
If you have a chip, I think that's possible. Yeah.
That's why I don't want to do it.
So that kind of scares me because they're talking about streaming services to your chip that you can hear. Now, if you're talking like the chip is like a bone conductor, like headphone, like, you know, it's like, I don't know if you guys ever heard of a bone conductor headphone, but it's not like doesn't go in your ear. It touches like behind your ear, the skull of your bone, and then it vibrates and transmits the sound into your ear canal that way.
Is it exist?
Yeah, those exist. Yeah, they're I think they're used for like sports and stuff like that. They don't fall out as easy. They don't fall off as easy, I mean. So that was kind of an interesting thing that popped up. But I think the what the company is trying to do is they're trying to help people who have gotten like injured in a way that their brain does not connect to the nerves that control like certain parts of the body, like somebody who became paralyzed.
なるほどね。
Yeah. Explain that.
だからそのカンパニーの人はなんかだからなんていうの、麻痺全員脳が麻痺になっちゃった人、コマみたいになっちゃったってことでしょ。
Not coma, but paralyzed. Like you can't control your legs anymore. You can't feel your legs.
なんか体とかが全身麻痺だねなっちゃった人を助けるために、それをチップを脳に入れることを考えてること。でもさ、それ入れても動かそこから指令を出して動けるようにするってことか。っていうことです。
So that's the point of the technology. But people are speculating to the future, right? And Elon Musk made the comment like, "Oh,
who is Elon Musk?"
Elon Musk is he's like the founder and CEO of Tesla, which is like an American electric car company. He's also the founder of SpaceX, which is like the private space and rocket company. So he's a pretty much a genius. Yeah, he's a really smart, motivated individual. And so if he thinks this technology is going to happen in the future, I think it will.
まあでもなくはないだろうね。
What do you mean?
Like, I mean, somebody will do it.
No, I think it's going to start with people who need help to like with paralysis and whatnot. You know, people who can't use their legs anymore. If they have the prospect of getting the use of their legs back, because when people lose the use of their legs, it's a nerve issue, right? Either in the neck or the vertebrae somewhere, right? It's damaged their spine so bad. And if they can use this technology to repair those connections and give you the use of your legs, wouldn't you want to sign up for it?
Yeah.
Especially if you're somebody who went through the majority of your life as able and you became disabled, I would sign up for it.
そうだね。
You're talking about getting your quality of life back, your ability to work, right? So much.
あんまりお金がかかんないといいね。でも
Yeah, well, and I think the original participants probably won't have to pay anything. So you're talking free experimental treatment to get your legs back. That's huge.
Yeah. If it really work.
Yeah. And so the expansion of that is like, what if you lost your arm? Right? So you lost like your arm, you lost a limb, you lost a foot. Now with robotics getting so advanced, what if you can, have a prosthetic limb that uses the chip to connect to your brain, and now you can control fine motor movement because of it. You know what I mean? Like they're using now kind of what happens is they connect to the nerves that are in the arm already. And based upon how you pull certain muscles, that'll move the arm. But what if you didn't have to have that? I believe that when they're doing that, it's kind of clunky. Like they can't really get really fine motor movements down. But if you could patch a nerve connection all the way back to your brain successfully, I think you would get into like the really fine motor movements of,
そうだね。
being able to, like do
Maybe
really
sewing to go knitting
complicated hand motions, which a lot of things require that. So I'm hopeful for the technology for people.
But I think we will get there.
Yeah,
Right,
eventually.
for sure.
Yeah. Well,
sure. No,
no,
not
I mean,
for sure, but-
so Elon Musk was saying in the next 10 to 15 years
でも
for that portion of the technology.
でも I think so too.
So I think by the time I'm an old man, it'll probably be too late for me to become one with my computer. But I think, honestly, and I think this is what we're going to see, is you're going to see generations in the future that are being integrated with technology through these chips. The chip connects to the computer. And you're going to have a generation of people who have grown up with it, learned how to think with it. Right? So just imagine this, right? You have this chip in your head. And like, so normally what you do when you have a question, right, is you like, okay, I'm going to bust out my cell phone, unlock it, open it up, type into the question to Google, filter through the information and decide, by reading it first and getting the information and processing it that way. What do you think is going to happen when people can automatically pull that information into their brain through a microchip?
怖いよ。怖くない
But-
Because the actual chip leads your minds, right?
No, I don't think it would be like that, but you can pull information straight from the internet to your head without having to lift a finger. Pornhub is gonna be lit, yo.
Nah, I don't know about that, but なんかそこまでしてくれなくてもいいかな。
No, I think it will. I think that's the future. I guarantee you that's gonna be the future.
どうするもんね、動かなくていいんじゃん、そしたら人間。
Yeah, I mean that's kind of well. You still have to eat, right? You still have to
なん
work.
かもう食べなくてもいいくなっちゃうかもしれないよ。
No, you're always gonna have to eat. I think.
Who knows?
Yeah, I mean, maybe they can just give you like an IV nutrients drip and you just sit there like in pleasure zone on your
maybe
microchip.
なんかもうチャージできるとことか出てくるんじゃないピッて
Fucking USB port in your side.
わかんない We'll see
Yeah.
in the future.
So, also in news, Chick-fil-A made the news.
チポレ
Chick-fil-A. It's a chicken sandwich fast food company.
I don't know.
What do you think they made the news for?
なんかそれ前に言ったけど忘れちゃったな
Chick-fil-A now leads Colorado in the amount of COVID outbreaks in their restaurants.
あそのサンドイッチ屋さんでアウトブレイクになっちゃったの
Yeah. And so now Chick-fil-A is the number one fast food restaurant in Colorado with coronavirus, like employees that got coronavirus. Yeah. 28 employees in Colorado, Chick-fil-A have gotten coronavirus.
So just one place?
I don't think it's the same restaurant. I don't believe so. Because it doesn't say at a Chick-fil-A, it just says at Chick-fil-A. So if it says at a, that means one. At Chick-fil-A, it could be multiple. Doesn't
また
specify.
コロナウイルスの話ウイルスの
That's
話
all there is to talk about anymore.
もういいよコロナウイルスの話はもうこれ以上なしにしましょ
Okay, so let's move on to another
Another one?
another news story, not about coronavirus this time. Children running through a museum knock over a $50,000 glass sculpture of a Disney castle.
あそれ前言ってたなんだっけディズニーランドで
I don't think it's Disneyland. It's at an art museum.
アートミュージアムか
Yeah. Kids knock over a glass sculpture.
スコープチューってなんだっけ
Sculpture? Let's ask.
あスタチューだスタチューみたい
What is sculpture in Japanese?
In Japanese, sculpture is 彫刻。
あ彫刻
Yeah.
あガラスの彫刻を倒しちゃったんだね
Yeah.
子供がで
The
いくらだっ
kids,
て
$50,000.
50,000だから5000万か
I
違う違
think
う50,000
5000万.
5000万の50万だ
No, 5000万.
あ5000万だね
Yeah.
110、100、1000万、10万、100の500万だよ500、500
No.
いや50,000でしょ
5,000 is
50万
50万? Oh, so 500万.
500
Yeah.
万、500万円のガラスの彫刻を倒しちゃって
How mad are you going to be at your kids for breaking a
それどうするの
$50,000?
弁償するの
I mean, they got to pay for it.
でもさそれさ子供が触れるようなとこにあったのがいけないっていうことにもなるんじゃないの
Yeah,
Well-
so I'm sure it says don't touch. It's a $50,000 statue, and you think there was not a don't
でもさ
touch sign?
いやタッチサインがあったとしてもでもさその子がもし he or she they couldn't read the sign
Mm-hmm.
and then if they can touch they will touch
So
Don't you
are
think
you
so?
blaming the museum?
I mean if I am the parents of them
Yeah, well,
I
yeah.
would
Yeah, of course you're going to try to blame the museum if they're your
Yeah,
kids.
そうでしょだからでもそれ
I'd be busting out a memeasuring tape on the sign like, oh, hey, is this close enough to this?
そうだよでもきっとそうだよそうなるよ親は
Yeah.
だって500万結構
We'll have to take out a loan against the house in order to
うん
pay that off.
そうだよだから多分でもそれわかんないね半分でももうそれ元に戻ってこないからね
Yeah. Are you sure you want kids?
Yes I am
Okay. Yes, I do.
Yes I do Yes I do
So, I mean,
we're not gonna go to the museum okay
no, until they're old enough to pay for it themselves. Okay. So, I just got really lucky actually right before we started the podcast. Luckily, my homework page from my online class was open, and I realized I didn't submit my homework correctly. And so I was able to submit it just in time in order to get my grade. But if I hadn't looked at it to do the podcast, then I'd be screwed.
あららら
Which leads me to my next story. A student begs to retake her test after a meatball from her sandwich falls and logs her out of the test.
あこれあれだね
説明してくれ。
テストを受けようと思った学生がいて それオンラインでだよね。
Yeah,
オンライ
online
ンでオンラインスクールでテストを受けようと思ってて、でもその子はミートボールサンドイッチっていうのはねアメリカにはあるんですよ。多分日本にはないと思うんだけど、ミートボールサンドイッチ聞いたことない。なん
It's a
か、
very messy sandwich.
サンドイッチにだからミートボールが入ってるわけだよね。
Yeah.
その食べようと思ったんで食べながらやろうと思ったのね、そもそもの理由ね。
Probably because she's American.
Is that her?
It's a her, yeah, she.
そう、彼女はそのサンドイッチ、ミートボールサンドイッチを食べようと思ったら、ミートボールが多分エンターキーに押しちゃったんだよね。でし
Yeah.
ょ？それで
Yeah.
サブミットっていうなんていうの
Yeah.
押しちゃって、もうテストが、
Shimaru.
もうなんかテストもうちゃんと終わったよっていうことでね、提出しちゃったわけですよ。だけど実際何もただそのミートボールがエンターに転がっちゃってサブミットしちゃったから、もう一度受けさせてくださいっていうのをね。
How freaking mad are you gonna be if you do that?
いやもう面白いよそれ。
Yeah.
ニュースになってること自体も面白いけど。
Okay, so role play. You're the teacher. What do you think?
いや、もしうちがティーチャーだったらもう一回受けていいよって言うよ。
Really? I don't think I fucking believe that story. I would say pics or nothing, bro.
Really?
Yeah, you gotta show me a picture of spaghetti sauce on your enter key.
まあ確かに。まあ撮ったんじゃない写真は。そこのミートボールが。
I mean, if I'm the student, I'm taking a picture like right away. Like, oh shit, look, and then here's my test. Oh, I'm closed, so that way I have proof.
そうだね。多分そうするともう本当。
My first thought is, ain't nobody gonna freaking believe me.
ああ。
That's like worse than my dog ate the homework.
確かに。まあ確かにそうだね。ミートボールが。でもさ、それまあ嘘だったとしてもすごい面白い話作ったよね、その子ね。
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
だからそういうタレントがあるよ。
Yeah. Well, so like, here's the lesson that I have, right? It's not don't eat while you're taking the test. To me, it's like eat a sandwich with lighter ingredients. Because if you're eating a fucking meatball sandwich, dude, that's got some mass to it. That's gonna fall on your keyboard and push something. But if you're eating like turkey, a little piece of turkey falls out. I think you're gonna be okay.
でもすごいね。ソーシーなサンドイッチをよくコンピューターの近くで食べようと思ったよね。
Yeah.
よほどお腹が空いてたね。
So this kind of leads me to like a big difference between the United States and Japan. And what I noticed is like just like how much of a fat ass I am in Japan. Americans eat everywhere and anywhere. Right? Like we eat walking down the street. We eat in our cars. We eat like while we're doing homework. We eat in class. We eat everywhere. And it's socially acceptable. In Japan, it's not.
Wow.
And I didn't know this like for the whole first year I lived in Japan. So I'd be like walking down the street and I'm eating my onigiri and my chips. So I'm like fucking people are looking at me like, oh, what's this guy doing?
でも日本人もするよ。
Yeah, no, they do, but usually it's busy people and don't have a chance to eat, you know.
ほら、たまに電車の中でビールこっそり開けて飲んでる人とかもいるから。
Oh yeah, I did that.
え？
Yeah, once.
それはいいのかどうかわかんないけど。
I don't think it's fine. There was like nobody on the train when I did it. That's why. Yeah.
まあそれ専用の電車もあるけどね。
I just pounded the beer as fast as I could.
そうですか。
Yeah.
まあそうだね。まあ教室でお菓子食べてよかったのかな。高校生の時はよかった。中学はとりあえずもうダメだよね。持っていくのはダメだからね、お菓子とか。お弁当も、まあ、
in high school, I don't think you're allowed. I wasn't allowed to eat. I had a couple teachers that would let you, but it couldn't be like anything wet. Like you couldn't eat like a meatball sub in class. You could have like some chips or like a drink with a cap, you know, but you couldn't.
高校は多分緩かった。中学は絶対ダメだった。でも道歩いてて食べる人結構いると思うけどな。
Yeah. So I was kind of curious, and this kind of makes me think about, like I took a Japanese class when I moved back from Japan, and I think I kind of, I think maybe I was a little bit too realistic to some of the students in the class because, as somebody who wants to move to a foreign country, you have certain expectations, right? Like of what that country is going to be like. And like a lot of the students in my Japanese class, like they're in the Japanese class because they're like really big fans of anime. right? And I'm a pretty big fan of anime.
Me too.
I picked it up more so after I moved to Japan. Like I was watching some stuff and to study like when I first met you in order to learn some Japanese, but I wasn't like a hardcore otaku, you know. Now I'm more like really into anime. But anyways, so you have expectations, right? Like of what it is you think you're going to experience when you move there, right? Like and then I think like a lot of the students think it's going to be like anime land. Like you're going to move there and everything's going to be like what you imagine when you're watching the animes. How I can really describe that is like when you watch an anime, it's like a Saturday morning cartoon, right? Or Sunday morning cartoon. It's overly fantasized. It's not really how things are. Yeah, go ahead. Sachi's going to go to the restroom real quick. It's overly emphasized. Like everything you think what is like about the anime, it's not realistic, right? And everybody kind of has this image that they're going to go there and there's going to be tons of cute girls and, you know, they're going to, everybody's going to fawn over you because you're a foreigner and, you know, like everybody's going to be really vibrant and talkative and you're going to have all these sort of easy stories to develop, and it just doesn't really happen like that. And so like what a lot of people don't realize is that it's just like a normal country, right? Like you have to go there, you have to work a normal job. There's just like more normal people than like you would think, right? Like when you watch the anime. So you have like this kind of fantasized envision of what the country's going to be like, and it's nothing like what it's like in any sort of TV show or drama or anime. And so I told the students, like, you know, like you need to be realistic about it, right? Like it's going to be really socially isolating. You're probably not going to have a lot of friends when you first move there. You're not going to know a lot of people. The people who are really interested in talking to you, for the most part, they really want to learn English, which is fine. You know, like if you're a Japanese person and you want to learn English, you have to start somewhere. So you have to talk to English speakers, and how you do that, you know, find a foreigner and talk to them. But that is their main objective, right, is to learn English. It's not like they're going to be your friend, they're going to be friendly to you, and they're super nice people, but their main objective is learning English. So I think that, you know, if you're thinking about living in a foreign country, you need to look at what daily life looks like in that country, and don't over fantasize what you think it's going to be like. And so I wanted to ask Sachi, like, what were your expectations before you moved to the United States? Your end goal wasn't to move to the United States. My end goal wasn't to move to Japan when I first met you. Our end goal was to be together and to get married. So I didn't really go into moving to Japan with like a lot of expectations. So I had more of an open mind. But did you have any expectations when you were going to move here?
なんかもうちょっとシティな感じ。
That's just because of where we moved, but
予想っていうか期待してたけど。
yeah. So I'm not afraid to admit this, but when we first met, like we had talked about moving to Hawaii.
ああ、そうだね。
Yeah. And so like Sachi was under the impression that we were going to get married and move to Hawaii.
だって言ってたからね。
No, because that's what we were going to do, right? We were supposed to go stay with my sister and get set up in Hawaii. But my sister moves a lot.
そうなんだね。
And so before we could, like the whole visa process took a year and 8 months from start to finish. And by the time we had gone halfway through the visa process or green card process, my sister already moved from Hawaii to California. So, yeah, that was a promise that I broke.
そうなんです。
Yeah.
ハワイにね、行ったこともないしね、まあ住んでみたかったね。
Yeah, it's hard to go right now, but after
今はね。
this is up, we're definitely gonna make a trip. I want to go to Maui. I want to do some deer hunting.
I don't think so, but
Like Joe Rogan, I'm gonna do some deer hunting.
I don't think so.
Been watching too much Joe
う
Rogan.
ん、そうですね。まあ、鹿のハントはしませんけど、
Mm-hmm.
まあ、ハワイ行ってみたいね。
Mm-hmm. Oh, when we went to Arroyo Grande to see my dad or help him move, I got Sachi to shoot an air rifle.
No,
Yeah, you did. There's video proof of it.
no.
Why are you embarrassed? She could barely hold it up. It was so
そうだ
heavy.
ね、確かに重たかった。
Yeah, and if you, I don't know if you know what an air rifle is, but it's like a BB gun basically. But instead of the BB being shaped around, it's like more shaped like a bullet.
うん。でもすごいちっちゃいやつだけどね。
Yeah,
タイニー
it's
タイニー。
yeah, and it's not like you probably shoot somebody and it would hurt them, but it's not gonna kill them.
うん。もちろんだよ。
Yeah, and then then you shot like the BB gun handgun.
うん。ちっちゃいやつね。
Yeah, my dad uses them for rodent control, shooting the rats and stuff like that up there. And
Really?
yeah, because they're, I mean, you don't want rats in your yard.
まあね。
Yeah, and then also, you know, I mean, they use the traps for the moles, but you know, if you can get them with the air rifle, then it's a lot easier. Yeah, the trap is kind of a nasty thing.
モグラ？
Yeah, mogura.
うん。
Yeah, they're really bad for the grass. So
あ、そうなの？
yeah, so you can either trap them and get rid of them, or you can shoot them.
If he hits the モグラ？
It's gonna kill it. It's tiny.
モグラ？
Yeah, they're like the size of a hamster.
うん。ハムスターもっとちっちゃい。モグラもっと大きいでしょ。
Yeah, like I'm thinking like a
なんていうんだっけ、ビギー、なんだっけ、
guinea pig.
ギニー
Sorry.
ピグ、
Yeah,
ギニーピグだ。
it's like the size of a guinea pig.
モルモット。
Yeah. Would you ever do deer hunting?
No.
No?
No. I'm not gonna do hunting.
You don't? Could you ever kill an animal?
No.
You were starving. Didn't eat for 3 weeks. About to die.
Okay, I'm not gonna go that situation, okay?
What if you're forced into that situation?
No.
What if we're on a flight to Hawaii, plane crashes, deserted island, all there is to eat is...
Okay, then I would think about it, okay? But now I'm not gonna think about it. This is the end of the conversation.
No, it's not the end of our conversation.
Yes.
So here's my thing to you, right? We eat meat. We're not vegetarian. We're not vegan. We eat meat, right?
I know.
I don't have issues with eating the meat, right? I have issues with factory farming, right? I can't afford to, you know, purchase like or like, you know, all these kind of like, what do you call it? Like humanely sourced meats and stuff like that. Like I don't even think we have a grocery store close by that even sells that kind of stuff. So if we're gonna get it, we're gonna have to order it in, and it's extremely expensive, right? But personally, I can't think of a more humane way to get protein source than to hunt the animal yourself, especially if you're talking something like an elk in an elk population that's overgrown. Like typically what's happening in those situations are the elk population is so out of control that they're starving to death because there's not enough food for all of them because they've become so overpopulated.
エルクって何？ kind of
It's kind of
deer?
like a deer. Yeah, it's like of the deer family.
鹿の仲間ね。
So
でもそれをさ、別にハントしに行かなくてよくないっていいじゃんか。
well, no, I'm saying you can just buy it, right? It's expensive, like unless you go somewhere where they hunt it. But you know, for the most part, that kind of protein source is really humane because you're actually helping the population, the greater population of the animal, from starving, right?
まあね。
Because the issue is a battle for resources. And that's with any sort of population that doesn't have some sort of natural culling, right? Where you know, the population is being reduced somehow. I'm gonna get you into elk, babe.
まああまりこちらで私は肉食べませんので、まあ食べるけど、
What did you have for breakfast?
Egg and avocado じゃん。
And
I didn't eat
you had
turkey.
prosciutto.
あ、プロシュート食べたな。
Yeah.
確かに。プロシュート食べたな。
Yeah.
まあ食べてるか。
Yeah. We're eating meat. I mean, not like crazy.
うん。
We're not eating steaks.
うん、食べてない。
Yeah. The only beef I really have is from like hamburgers, but
うん。
yeah. I mean, because of like my exercise and what I'm doing, I have to kind of have a high level of protein. So we are trying to stay in shape during the quarantine.
そうだね。
It's very difficult.
そうだね。
But I kind of wanted to share what we're doing. Not recently, over the past year or so, I've lost about 50 pounds. And I was wanting to share how I did that.
うん。
So I started doing all this Maggie. I started training for triathlon. I had one of my best friends recommend it to me. Actually, first what happened is I watched him do a half Ironman distance close by our house. We went and watched, and I saw a lot of people of different body types doing it, and I thought, hey, maybe I can do this too, right? And I remember saying that, and you're like, oh, you're crazy.
そうだね。そうだね。距離が長いからね。
Yeah.
しかもさ、泳いで
Yeah.
泳いだ後に自転車こいで走るって、うわ
Yeah.
ーって思ったね。
Yeah. It's a lot. No, I mean, it was when I did a half Ironman distance the next year, and it was probably for physical exercise, it's the hardest thing I've ever done for physical exercise in my life. Like, I honestly, at 2 points during the race, I thought I wasn't going to finish. But if you put in a high level of training like that, like I was putting in anywhere from 8 to 14 hours a week of training, sometimes more than that if I had a really long bike ride on the weekend. You can lose a lot of weight without having to. I mean, you should focus on nutrition. Like, what you eat is important. Getting good nutrition is important. But you can eat a lot if you're exercising a lot.
But still you lose weight.
We're still losing weight. I lost 50 pounds, and I was eating more calories than when before I started doing the exercise.
But でもティーちゃんはyou stop eating 冷凍のフローズン揚げ物みたいなの。
Yeah, I stopped eating fried foods. I was because the thing was is I wanted to reduce my cholesterol intake. I wanted to reduce my total calorie from fat down more, and so you get to the point, right, where you're doing this exercise and you're having to take in so much that you can only stomach so much food, right? So say a normal diet, you're eating 2,000 calories. It's really easy to fill 2,000 calories, right? Now you're doing a day where you do 4,500 calories, right? You have your normal 2,000 that you need to function throughout the day, plus 2,500 calories of exercise. It is hard to eat that much food. Your stomach is just not really big enough. And at a certain point, you just get damn, I can't get enough calories in on all this and the junk food, and it starts making you sick, right? You can't fit it all in your stomach. So the quality of what you eat is really, really important when you start doing something like that, right? So I went through this. I had 10, I did it. I think in total it was about 9 months of training after my first Ironman, half Ironman.
6 months じゃなかった？
No, I think it was 8 months in total. I was kind of doing some little bit of running and stuff and swimming before I got an official training plan. But my official training plan was 7 months. And then after the half Ironman, I signed up for more, and I'm continuing to do it because I want to get to the point where I can see my abs. That's my final goal, right? But it became really, really demotivating during the pandemic to keep on exercising.
そうだね。
Also coupled with the fact that you get nervous about pushing yourself too hard because what if I have a super heavy training week and then that coincides with actually getting coronavirus. You know, like what are you gonna like, that's kind of a recipe for disaster, right? Like you've pushed your body to the brink, expended all of your energy, and then boom, you get sick with coronavirus. That's going to be really, really bad. So that's why I really, really pulled back, because I was so nervous about everything. And then also there's no races. And then where we live, none of the pools are open, so I can't swim anymore. And so like now I'm like, oh, what can I do to swim? You know, I don't really have any friends that have pools. I don't really want to ask my coworkers, because I don't think that's like the best way to go about it. But you know, there's no lakes nearby where we can do open swim. So the only real option would be to drive out to the beaches. But they were closed for like the first 3 months of this. Now they're opening back up, but then they close. And then it's like, oh, do you want to spend like $80 to $100 in gas just to go swimming? Like, it's crazy. You could rent an Airbnb for cheaper with a pool. So that's where it's been at. This last week I started picking up my training a little heavier. I do about an hour and a half to 2 hours a day right now. So that puts me at about like 12 to 11 hours a week. I think this week I did about 13 hours.
マラソンと自転車ね。
Yeah. So I have an indoor bike trainer, and then I use a program called Zwift. It's a really popular running and biking program. It's like a video game that you can play. And then I have a treadmill. Luckily, I had the treadmill before this all started, because they came in really hot demand as soon as the pandemic hit. Like, it was really impossible to find.
もうずっとその
I've had it for a long time. Yeah, that's what I said. Like we bought it
before you started the Ironman.
Yes, because I needed a way to train in the summer, because it's brutally hot in the summer here.
そうそうそう。走れないからね。今日も43度。
Yeah.
暑い。
It's hot.
でも来週からもっと暑い。
So what are you doing to stay in shape during the
そうだから
pandemic?
うちはね、皆さんご存知の竹脇まりなさんの YouTube ビデオでねやってますよ。今めちゃくちゃ多分彼女もパンデミックが始まってからすごい一気にもう1ミリオンサブスクライバーになって、どのビデオも結構ミリオン超えてるビューアーがね。
Yep. A lot of people are exercising inside now.
そう、それで痩せたね。痩せたっていうか別に痩せるのが
I think you have lost weight. Yeah.
そうで痩せたんだよね本当に。アメリカに来て太ると思って。
Everybody thought
そう
you were.
友達みんなそう思ってたね。友達はねみんなねうちが太ると思ってたんだけどね太らなかった。
Yeah.
むしろ痩せたって。
I was so mad because I started gaining a lot of weight when we came back.
そうだね。
I'm like, how the fuck are you losing weight? Like you moved to America, our food sucks. You should be gaining weight. She's losing like a pound every month. Yeah, that might be something to do with the stress and the heat, though.
まあそうだね。一番最初引っ越してきた時は確かにもう暑すぎてご飯食べれなくて痩せたっていうのはあるけど。
Also, the anxiety of living in a foreign country.
Well, I didn't really feel that way, but maybe inside of me.
Well, I think you like because I went through this when I moved to Japan, and I noticed you went through the same thing. Is you kind of have like brain drain, like you get tired from speaking in the foreign language so much all day that like you just get mentally exhausted, and you start getting like having to sleep more, and you get tired.
まあそうだね。I didn't really feel that way.
But I noticed it in you.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Like now you don't, but like I remember like halfway through the day, you're just like, oh, I'm so tired.
But I remember I was always sleepy.
Yes.
Right now too, especially summertime.
Well, yeah, the summer does it too. Yeah.
なんでかな普通
It's
こんな
the heat.
そうか。まあヒート
It's
のそうだね。
exhausting. Yeah. When it's hot, your heart rate elevates, and your body has to work harder to cool down.
そうこんなに暑いのにね眠たくなんだよね。だから。まあそうそうそれで何の話したっけあそうそう、そう私はね竹脇まりなさんの YouTube でだいたい本当に毎日やってるかもしれない。
Yeah, you're doing it pretty much every day.
まあ簡単にストレッチとから始めてねだいたい3個4個5個ぐらいの YouTube ビデオでエクササイズして、うちも腹筋をアブを見るのがね。
Yeah,
腹筋
that's our goal.
そうそうまあうちは6個は無理だから4つパックぐらいね。
I want to get to the point where we're just like one of those annoying fitness
couples.
Instagram couples.
そこまでできるかな。
むく。
それでじゃあいつかポストする日があるか。
So like before I started this fitness journey, I thought because of like my body type that I was gonna be like really kind of muscly, and I've done nothing but like slim down, except for in my thighs where all the work is being done for biking and cycling. So you're doing this online, Marina Takewaki. Her videos are really good, but there's one dance move that's like really funny, and you kind of do like this like cowboy move forward and backwards.
あ、これ
Yeah, where you walk backwards.
あ
I just thought that was really funny.
そう
Yeah, it looks like a cowboy.
カウボーイなんで、
Yeah. I don't know, it's kind of like how like a traditional cowboy walks or something.
そうですか、
Yeah.
それは知らなかった。
Is there anything funny that I do during training?
You?
Yeah.
トレーニング中に変なことするかって、
Yeah.
You?
Yeah.
Sometimes you dance with me and then it doesn't Sometimes ね、
Yeah.
一緒に踊るけどそれが全然なってなくてちょっと笑っちゃう。
Yeah.
それぐらい。
I was thinking about like sometimes when I'm training, like yesterday, I get so chafed that I like have to adjust my
あー
shorts.
そうだね。
Yeah.
お尻で昨日走っ
I'm
てる
pretty
時
much running naked at a certain point.
そうだね。お尻半ケツ出して
Yeah.
ランニングマシン出して。
Yeah.
確かに
Also, like my running shorts, they have like a not a chamois, but like a liner, like a
イン
pants
サイドパンツね。
yeah inside pants が入ってる。
うん
They go like in between like
付け根な
my
んか
my 太ももと
うん
金玉の中。And
言
then
っちゃったよ。
yeah, つるつるつるつるつるつる。
ゴールデンボールって言って。
It gives me chafing, and I like it hurts really bad.
うん、
So in order to get that out of there, I have to pretty much pull the pants halfway down my butt. So I'll be running on the treadmill half naked.
そうだね。半ケツで。半ケツって言うんだよ。
Yeah. And I'm already doing it without a shirt on.
そうそうそう
yeah.
そうだね。
So it's just so hot. Even inside the house, you have the air conditioner on. It's just so hot.
That's
the fan,
only
fan
you.
blowing.
うん、それは T ちゃんだけが暑いんだけど、うちはいつも寒いけん。
Yeah. I don't. Well, so we have a couple friends, Chinese and American couple,
うん。
and she's from China,
うん。
and they experience the same issues that we do with body temperature differences.
ああ、そうだね。
And I think it's like because you have a low body fat percentage, and so does she. Like you're both really thin,
うん、そうか。
and so your body temp, like you just get cold so easily. And I'm just like, I run hot all the time. I'm always like, I'm sweating right now. You know, and you're cold. You got a jacket on and a blanket over you, and you're in sweatpants.
うん、そうなんだよね。なんなんだ
Yeah.
やっぱ
I mean, I'm hoping as I lose weight it gets better, but it doesn't seem to be really changing that much.
Oh.
Even after 50 pounds, I still feel pretty much the same temp all the time.
だからずっとこういう風に家をさ、冷たくしてるからだよ。ちょっと上げた方がいいと思うよ。それで、you need to be used to it.
But the temperature stays the same every day, and I don't get used to that. I still feel hot.
Wow. It's okay. Okay. まあ、でも一つ変わったことがあるね。今まですっごいいびき、
Yeah.
うん、これ本当にビッグイシューだったから。
I
To me.
was snoring really loud. It was like a really big problem for us.
No, you. For me.
No, I mean, because I care about the problem for you. That's why it's a
okay.
problem for us. I don't want you to be unhappy, so that's why it was a big problem for me.
そうそう。
I was trying like head straps and nose clips,
うん、
and
it didn't work.
didn't work. None of it worked.
うん、
I thought about getting, I think it's like an APAP machine is what it's called. Like it helps you breathe while you sleep.
うん、こういうの
Yeah, it's like a mask in, and then it like forces air into your lungs to
す
keep
ご
you
い
from
いび
snoring.
きをかいてて、でも体重落としてからはなんとね、ほぼ
Yeah,
なくなったね。
yeah.
本当に。
And we were talking about this the other day because I did snore just like for a little tiny
そうそう
bit.
そう、それで気がついたんだよね。
Yeah, and you're like, oh wow, I haven't heard him snore in like a really long time.
そうだっていつもさ、うちが寝てって T ちゃんがいびきかき始めたらもううちいつもこう、あ、うるさい。うるさいって叩いていびき止めてたから。
Yeah.
でもそれもうなくなったもん完全に。それ
Yeah.
ゼロだよ。
I felt really bad because there was like literally nights where you didn't sleep at all because of it.
あ、そう。
Yeah.
うちね、
Mhm.
センシティブだから寝る
You
ことに。
were super light sleeper.
そうそうそうそう。それだからいびきが隣でかかいでもううるさいな
It's
と。
gonna suck for our kids
なんで
because they're not gonna be able to sneak out.
because
You
そうい
hear
う
a little noise.
そうだね。When they get teenager、
Yeah, すぐに気づく。
そうだね。大丈夫。そういうことしない子に育てるから多分。
Yeah.
そうだね。そうそう。だから痩せていびきなくなってよかったね。
Did you ever sneak out as a kid?
No, never.
Never.
Mm.
Well, you were a good kid.
I am.
I
I
did.
was.
I did. I snuck out
Like,
a few times.
how old were you?
Probably like 14, 15 years old.
Okay. No, I never did that.
Yeah, I snuck out a couple times. A few times I lied about where I was. I said, oh, I'm going to stay the night at my friend's house. And then 飲み会に行った。
14歳で
Yeah. It was from friends. Not at a
Okay.
bar, but
Okay.
you know.
We'll talk later.
I was kind of a bad kid.
I wasn't.
I turned out okay though. Yeah,
Mm.
you were a really good kid.
You didn't know that?
What?
You don't know that?
No, I mean we've talked about it a couple times.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just didn't know if you'd ever snuck out for any other reason or something. So, nope.
Nada.
Nothing.
Nada.
Would you?
Nada. Oh,
What would you do if our kids snuck out?
I think impossible. Because
You're gonna make it impossible?
I
Put a camera on the front door or what?
mean, I will wake up for sure if they're gonna try. Because Maggie,
yeah, but
Did-
maybe our kids will be like ninjas.
oh, congratulations if they become ninja. But I think impossible. I can't wake up with Maggie's just a little noise.
Yeah. Mm.
Did you notice this
That
morning?
wakes you up?
Did you
Really?
notice this morning?
Mm.
She came
No, I
because
don't.
it was light. She usually go for a walk with me at like 6 or before 6.
Yeah.
So
I sleep like a freaking rock. I don't
yeah.
I don't wake up for anything.
But she came to the and then I realized, oh, Maggie's gonna wake me up. But I already woke up. But she saw us. We are still in the bed, so she decided to go back here. She came, but she came back
I
here.
think she's waiting to see if you're out of bed.
Yeah,
Our dog is very strange.
she has a really good characteristic.
Yeah, she has a なんか変な生活があるね。
性格。
性格がある。
面白い、ユニーク。
Mm.
Really 面白い。すごく面白いね。
So, she, for some reason, I think she has like a jealousy issue with you. Like,
やきもち問題。
I think so. So,
To
like,
who?
to you,
To me?
yeah.
She's
So,
jealous?
yeah. Like, I think she wants to be my girl.
Your girl?
Yeah. Like, she's
それは大きな間違いだよ。
she's the side chick, right? Because you're my wife. But
But-
so, like,
She loves me.
yeah, she does love you for sure. But what I'm saying is like, I'll be like, Sachi will be in the shower getting ready for bed. I'll be laying in bed. Maggie will jump up on the bed, lay with me, totally pass out. As soon as you hit the bed, she's out.
そうだね。
She does
なんでだろう？
not want to sleep with you at all. I don't know what it is. But if I sleep alone anywhere in the house, she'll come and sleep with me.
ねえ、それはちょっと嘘だよ。ちょっ
No,
と
it's not.
オーバーエグジャッジだ
No,
よね。
no. Every time she jumps up with me,
ねえ
frequently.
It's not all the time.
It's pretty much all the time, especially when you're not here.
Okay. Okay. そうなんだよね。マギーなんかうちがベッドに行くと必ずベッド降りるんだよね。今日の朝もう一回ベッドに戻って、寝るかな、二度寝しようかなと思ったらマギーがベッドの下にいてすぐ出てた。なんで
She doesn't want to be anywhere near you when you're sleeping. I don't know what it is. I don't think it has anything to do with me, really. I think what it is you're coughing.
そうだね。なんかマギーうちのコーフィン、
Yeah.
咳
You have like a kind of a tiny persistent cough. Sometimes.
みたいな。
Yeah. you clear your throat or you like that once or twice to clear your throat, she hates it.
いつもどっか行っちゃうんだよ
She
ね。
will run away.
うん
And so actually this has become a really useful tool
うん。
when we're like going on a walk
あ、そうだね。
and she's gonna like kind of go bark at another dog or something.
そう。
You just clear your throat and she gets all depressed and,
そうだね。
and like you know walk straight and
うん、そうなんだよね。なんかほんとマギーは面白いよね。
yeah.
小さい人間
Yeah, yeah.
入ってる。
Small dog, big personality.
うん、そうだね。
Yeah.
確かに。愉快です。
Yep.
うん、
じゃあ
長いんじゃない？
Nah, well, I mean, if you don't want to listen,
Just don't listen.
just pause it.
Pause.
Pause it and come back later.
うん、そっか。
Yeah. Well, thank you for sticking out this podcast.
うん、今日はいっぱい
It
話
was
した
a
よ。
long one. We appreciate you guys listening. Thank you for rating us, for leaving comments, leaving feedback. If you have any suggestions, anything you want to know about, you know, Japan, our experience there, or maybe if you're Japanese and you're curious about the U.S., leave us a comment about that.
なんかアメリカのことについて聞きたいことがあればぜひコメントでもしてください。
Yep, we'll answer you.
うん、まあ知ってる限りで教えられる限りで。
If you have any constructive criticism, if you have any complaints, we'll listen to those too.
でもノーコンプレインがいいな。
Yeah, please don't complain.
うん、そうだね。
But if you have it, we'll listen.
うん、ポジティブな方で。
Yeah, well, we do want to do better. So if you have any advice for us, let us know. And whatever platform you're listening to us on, leave us a like, leave us a comment. We'll try to check it and get back to you. Anyways, we appreciate you listening. And this will be the end of the podcast.
ありがとうございました。
ありがとうございました。
バイバイ。
バイバイ。